Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Afternoon Market Action. My name is Glenn.
My name is Ryan.
And we're going to be your hosts for the Fed decision today. Oh, the decision just came out. It did.
We got to pull it up. Yeah. How you doing today, Glenn?
I'm doing fine, bro. How you doing? I can pull it up from right here. Let me do that. And go to research.
Ryan, I think you need to change your mic settings.
All right.
My mic settings?
I think you're not on Teams. I think you're using the wrong mic on Teams.
Tools, economic calendar. I'm sure, Ryan, are you in a cave? Wow. I think Ryan's in a cave. Economic crew. There it is.
Is that better, Joey?
I'm just checking to see. I don't think he said anything. I think it's going to... What have you guys got for us under your hats? My hair. All right. So I'm just wondering, is today your birthday, Ryan?
My hair.
His birthday was earlier this. When was your birthday, Ryan?
Yesterday. Yesterday was my birthday.
Oh. Interest rates. I'm looking at it.
Yeah, unchanged.
It's unchanged. There it is.
Yeah.
5.5. There it is. I figured it was going to be unchanged. Put this on the screen. It should have been. And a lot of news out there saying, oh, yeah, we're waiting for the Fed's decision. For what reason? He was going to not do anything.
We all knew that.
Yeah, he was not going to do anything. So you do look older, Ryan says. He always looks older.
I feel it today.
Yeah, he looks it too. The market is moving up. Let's go right here. This market is moving up.
Oh, yeah, all the indexes
right
just
here.
shot up.
All right, let's go take a look at the market. Joey will put, there it is. Well, let's go look at a graph. A graph is a better way to look at it. At 2:30, we're going to tune in to what the Fed is saying. Wow. There it is. So you would think that unchanged, everybody still is, and what do you attribute this to, Ryan? That everybody's still thinking that the Fed rate cut is coming and that everything is good, or what? I mean, the market just shot up 3 minutes in a row.
I mean, why would the market go down today?
Yeah, right? 3 minutes in a row. Should we buy now? Man, I am not of the mindset to buy now. Let's go look at the 3-month graph.
I'd wait to see what he has to say at 2:30 before you go.
Absolutely. We got the confirmed down call a couple of days ago. The market's starting to move back up. Could this be another whipsaw of a confirmed call? The confirmed call down came before the DEW did, which is abnormal. Which is really abnormal. Michael says Fed saying 3 cuts this year. Michael, where you been? I don't think we get 3 cuts this year. Not with the data that's coming out. The Fed said that back in November, Michael, which set off this rally back in November all the way up until now. All right, so let me ask a question. How many of you type a yes if you think we get 3 Fed rate cuts this year? Type a no if you don't think so. All right, type a yes if you think we do get 3 cuts this year. Type a no if you don't. I'm going to be on the camp of a no. What about you, Ryan?
I'm going with no.
Yeah, I don't think there's... And
the data's not there.
Absolutely.
I mean, the CPI data, it hasn't been crazy hot, but it's been a little, temperate.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think we get 3 cuts this year.
If we get cuts...
I think it's only going to be 1.
Yeah.
I think it's only going to be 1. My eyes will be on the jobs numbers, says Chris. The job numbers, the unemployment is still below 4. All right, still below 4. So, all right, there we go. So, that was just from what the Fed said. In a half an hour, we're going to listen in to what the Fed is saying. James says 1 is a pretty good call. Sonny says 1 for a political boost. And I think that, and I'm telling you this, if he cuts rates around the September time period, it's going to be looked at as the most political cut ever. It will be looked at as one of the most, or the most political cut ever. All right, I agree, 1 or 2 if it's politically motivated. So I mean, we'll see. First cut July, second cut November, third December, says Jeff. All right.
Okay.
I still think that if the numbers are still coming in higher than he wants, Jeff, he's going to put inflation back where it was. He's going to. You do not want the Fed doesn't want to be the ones that set inflation back off again. So only the Republican. I'm not saying nothing about nothing. All right. So last thing we're gonna do. Let's get into our stories. All right. So Ryan says, "Oh yeah, Glenn, you want to start off the stories political, huh?" Well, and this is interesting because as we're talking about a September cut being political, story I found, how much control does the president have over the Fed interest rate? Interesting. So I don't look at it as political. I look at it as realistical. Is that a real word, Ryan? Realistical?
It's probably a Glenism.
Okay. As the Fed worked towards achieving its target inflation of 2%, it raised rates 11 times. As a result, it's become more expensive for Americans to borrow money and all of that. All right. How the Fed affects the rates. The Fed Reserve doesn't directly control interest rates set by the individual financial institutions. The FOMC, the division of the Fed, is responsible for setting monetary policy. All right. Controls the federal funds rate, and they also make sure that jobs are in line. All right. And the rates that they're looking at are short-term interest rates. And the federal, this is where we are right now. With the raise, flat. Look at all of this, flat, and even into right now. So, interesting story in regards to what we're saying about the Fed being politically motivated to cut interest rates. I think that I'm with Ryan that if the data keeps coming in and inflation keeps inching up, it doesn't have to be a lot, but just a little bit at a time, realistically, he's not going to have the ammunition to cut interest rates. He's just not going to. And if he cuts them too early, inflation's going to run. Watch oil. Oil is a big mover of inflation, probably one of the biggest. And Ryan's going to have a story on that as well. Ryan, I like your background. Glenn, get with the program. Holy smokes, you hear that?
They like
That's
my horse
Joey's fault.
and my
Well,
fence.
then why don't you change it?
Get with the program.
What? All right.
Heard?
All right.
You need a nice background.
Whatever.
You're too digital. You look too crypto-y over there, Glenn.
How about Pavas? Oh, I do look crypto-y. I hate crypto. Pavas says 9 officials see 4 rate cuts, 5 C2, 2 C1. We'll see. Mark says, I will be driving through your area in the 2nd or 3rd week of April. You need to stop by, Mark.
Yeah, come by the office. Say, hey, Mark.
Let Joey take us out to dinner for a good steak dinner. It'd be great. All right, next story. Ryan's story. Intel awarded up to $8.5 billion in the CHIPS Act grant with billions more in loans available. Ooh.
Yeah. So the CHIPS Act, that was passed, 2 years ago now?
Yeah.
It's finally starting to make its way out into the money or out there. So the company could receive up to $11 billion in loans tied to this legislation. On top of that, as far as $8.5 billion in just direct funding for, ultimately the whole point behind this was to compete with China. The AI chip race. We're seeing more and more of this money flow into different domestic chip manufacturers. Intel, it's their turn now. I think it was Micron's received some, a couple others. Have you done any stories on any of the CHIPS Act money?
I have not.
Okay. But yeah, essentially, they're trying to build the new plant in Ohio. And that's what a lot of this money is going to go towards too. So as you know, Intel's the underdog, but I believe Pat Gelsinger, he's doing a good job trying to bring this company around. I know they just got that partnership with ASML for the lithography machines to kind of keep them on the forefront or in competition with Taiwan Semiconductors. So between this and this CHIPS Act here is going to produce that the Ohio plant. Also in Arizona, they have another chip plant that the money's going to go towards as well. So looking forward to see what comes here with Intel. I think we've got a good turnaround story, good comeback story for Intel.
Excellent. All right, next story. Oh, yeah, because I hate crypto. What happened in crypto today? Are Ethereum ETFs in trouble? Did you see this story? I know you're an Ethereum player, and I know that just like the crypto's got ETFs, Ethereum is looking. Analysts are losing faith. It started off with Bitcoin hitting a fresh new all-time high at 73,000. It went down in 1 week. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 days. It went from 73,000 down to 63,000. That's a big hit in a short amount of time. And then, where's the other one? There it is. And just when we thought things couldn't get worse, the SEC made a move. Well, not really. Those awaiting rulings on the proposed Ethereum ETFs applications got slammed as the SEC elected to kick those all-important decisions down the road yet again with delays. So, and you're right, Bill. Crypto does have, when it's working, it's working. When it's not, it's not. I'm not a big fan of crypto, but I've never never stopped giving you an opportunity to make money on it the best way we can, So there we go.
Just to add to your story, Van Eck is actually the first ETF for Ethereum that sent their application in.
Yeah.
The regulator, according to this article I'm looking at, is supposed to decide on that application May 23rd. So we'll really find out come May whether these ETFs are in trouble or not.
They're in trouble.
They're in trouble.
Next story about some weed.
All right. Yeah. So this
can
is
we say weed? Can I say marijuana?
You could say marijuana, Glenn.
Can I say the sticky icky? Can I say the ooh wee? Can I say any of that stuff? I'm just, huh? That MJ. Okay. I was just
MJ, the Mary Jane.
The Mary Jane.
Any other names we're gonna?
I don't know. I think that's all of them.
So yeah, I was looking to see, what's going on with weed stocks, because as you've seen, they're shooting up lately. Come to find out in this article here, VP Harris, Vice President Kamala Harris is taking a turn to work with the DEA to reclassify marijuana.
Hold on. Ramar is old. He called it grass. That's old.
The devil's lettuce.
That is, and that and joint. That and joint. That's old. Okay.
But ultimately, so according to this article, marijuana is under the Schedule 1 drug under the Controlled Substance Acts, designating it with the most dangerous drugs with no medical uses and high abuse potential. Other in this Schedule 1 substance include heroin, LSD, and ecstasy. And the next paragraph, it says, nobody should go to jail for smoking weed. That is a quote by Kamala Harris at the roundtable event. So I think, this is huge. If the DEA can reclassify marijuana off a Schedule 1 drug, not only will that increase, the potential for it to become legal in more states, but when I went out to Colorado last week, the dispensaries there. No. The dispensaries out there, you can't just go in there and buy stuff with a credit card. All the money and all the financing has to be done under the table because it's not protected by, what is it? The Securities and Exchange Commission.
But aren't they? It's
legal
there,
it's
though,
not
right?
FDICC.
It's legal there, right?
It's legal, but you have to. Essentially, if you hand them your credit card, you're giving it to an ATM machine, which gives you cash, and then you use that cash to buy it.
Oh.
So yeah, it's weird.
Well, interesting. I'm reading what you said. Nobody should have to go to jail for smoking weed. Do you know that she locked up a lot of people for smoking weed?
Again,
I don't know if I want to go down that path, but she did, didn't she?
Politicians in general have locked up a lot of people for smoking weed. I'm putting it like that.
I'm just saying.
I get what you're saying.
That's kind of hypocritical. All right.
It's very hypocritical.
Okay. All right. I got you.
But I think, the government is coming into a new age where I think marijuana is it's going to be accepted. And there's a lot of money to be made with some of these companies here. I've got Tilray in my list this week. It's up today, actually, last time I looked.
I don't disagree with you. But it is what it is. All right. Whew. Let's go next one. Oh, so Uncle Glenn's been talking about the shift to more so the hybrid vehicles, which probably would have been a better way to go rather than trying to stick everybody straight into EVs. But slowing EV shift, fuel economy ratings scaled back. There's going to be another level of what's acceptable for emissions for cars. And it's going to push, the administration softening the fuel economy standards, which will slow the transition to electric vehicles from gas-powered ones. Interesting, as an election is coming up, little tweaks in what he said he was going to do compared to what he's going to do. Very, very interesting. And I think that it's, for the automakers, I was listening to another story that said that the government was going to push for the car companies to produce at least 70% of their cars to be all electric, which I think would be stupid. All right. But I think that it lightens up on the car manufacturers to put out more EVs. I think, remember, we did a story not too long ago about Honda pushing more towards hybrid. And I was wondering how many other vehicles were going to start pushing towards hybrids. I'm thinking that that's going to start to happen going forward. So we're going to look at General Motors, Ford, and Stellantis. All right.
Okay.
Next story.
Next story is mine.
Yeah.
So this is Reddit. The famed company that's was behind Wall Street Bets.
Pumpers. Excuse me.
What are you laughing at?
Ooh, that's what I got to say.
That noise. They pumped up stocks like AMC,
GME.
GameStop, BlackBerry, Kodak, all kinds of random companies. Well, they are going public tomorrow, actually. Reddit will be public. So my biggest thing is I'm thinking this company gets pumped by retail traders.
Absolutely.
I think there's some kind of pump action in the works for this stock. I would be shocked if there wasn't. I was actually thinking about buying a couple shares, just see where price action is.
Because it's going to go down below where it opened and it's going to go out of business. This is going to be the shortest freaking IPO ever. It's going to go out of business and everybody's going to hold it like diamond hands and it's still going to go out of business and they're going to hodl and all that other terminology that came out.
They're going to hodl.
All that.
Diamond hands, Glenn. You got to have your diamond hands ready.
I got no diamond hands for this.
That's why you ain't got no crypto, man.
That's why I ain't got no crypto either.
You got no crypto. You gotta have stronger hands than that.
Whatever. All right, but this is going to be interesting. I think it's going to create a lot of buzz. I'm with you. I think it's going to create a lot of buzz.
I don't. As far as the company itself, it's only worth so much. But as far as the stock, I think there's a good chance this thing gets pumped and gets turned into a meme stock. So I'll be looking out for it. If I find good prices, I might buy a couple shares and just see what happens.
Go ahead and lose that money.
Go ahead and lose that money.
I teached you better than that.
All right. Well, if I go to the moon, Glenn, I'm just gonna look down on you and say, "Hey, Glenn."
All right. Go ahead. You're gonna
How's
be like,
your X-Row doing?
You're gonna be like that lunar and gonna fall on your side. That's what you're gonna do. All right. Next one, Dell. I did an NVIDIA video yesterday, unfortunately, but I did it. And Dell was a big partner with NVIDIA. Dell offers complete NVIDIA-powered AI factory solutions to help global enterprises accelerate AI adoption. So, how many of you saw the video last night, the NVIDIA video from the keynote presentation? Just type a 1 in the room. If you didn't, I invite you to go. NVIDIA put out a lot of great stuff about what they are doing and that kind of stuff. If you haven't watched it, please do. Please do. All right. So Dell's going to be in my list today. Real quick, we got about 11 minutes before the Fed comes on. Oil. Why is it that Ryan always talks about oil? I own oil, by the way. I own USO. I still own
Hey,
it.
oil's good. And I told you Brent's above that 85 level. I like it. Ultimately, I am bullish on oil. I got Weatherford, I think USO.
I have USO. I own it in real world.
In my list for today. However, this article I thought was interesting, and the only reason why I brought it up is because you ever realize when gas prices get more expensive this time of year?
Well, why is that, Ryan? I'm curious.
Why is that?
Inquiry minds want to know, Ryan.
Well, obviously, you travel more, demand goes up, blah, blah, blah. We all know that, right?
Right.
Well, there's actually another reason why
Well,
gasoline
Ryan,
goes
I'm
up.
sitting on the edge of my seat. What
I
is
know
it?
you are, bud. You better strap on that hat, bud. It's going to be a wild ride today.
Ooh-wee. Okay.
I got some good facts for you.
Go ahead.
But summer gasoline blends, so there's actually a blend that they use for gasoline, is more expensive to produce because they have lower, it's called RVP or reed vapor pressure, to comply with EP regulations. So we actually use a different style of gas in spring and summer than we do in winter, and it's more expensive to make. And that's why gas is more expensive at the pump in the summer.
Who the hell actually learns that?
I do.
Okay. I'm just like, wow.
Well,
Right.
I always knew it goes up in the summertime, usually because of speculation of hurricanes or disruptions or summer traveling puts pressure on demand. But I never knew we have a different blend for summer that costs more expensive.
All right. So now I'm going to ask the room, how many of you thought that was useful information? I'm going to say yes. I actually was kind of useful. Type a 1 in the room if you thought that was useful. I thought that's kind of cool. I didn't know that.
Kevin said winter fuel is also less efficient.
Interesting.
Which makes sense because I felt like I've had to put more gas in the pump.
I like that. Look at you.
Someone said knew that already.
Doug
Yeah,
said
I
he
didn't
knew
know that
already. I didn't know that.
because I always thought, it was just, travel demands. People are driving more during the summer. So, that and hurricanes, obviously, price goes up.
A few people did know. That was
That's
better
like,
than
when
Joey's take. Whatever,
when it's hurricane season, if there's a hurricane in the Atlantic, I'm usually looking at oil stocks because normally you're going to get a jump in oil for a little bit.
That's true. Special for boats too, says Greg. I didn't know that either. So that's why we come, says Alton. There you go, because I didn't know. One last story, because the Fed's going to come up in 8 minutes.
Yes.
Your Uncle Glenn's been talking to you about regional banks for the longest time. This was a story that just came out yesterday. Troubled NYCB is not another Silicon Valley. It's worse. The story goes on to talk about, I did a short on this a couple hours ago. Excuse me, go check it out. But a lot of it comes from the commercial real estate. All of the mortgages that the commercial real estate, not only that, is regulations put on banks for liquidity and all that kind of stuff. I've been talking about the other shoe to fall for at least a year. All right. And then part of this is it could be a possible bailout because if all these banks fail at the same time, I think a lot of the little ones will get bought. I think a lot of the little ones will get bought by the big boys, but some of them may have to be bailed out, which puts out more money. We spend more. Oh, that's inflationary. Okay. I'm just putting that out there.
Do you think we should bail out the banks, Glenn?
Say again?
Do you think we should bail out the banks?
Nope. Listen, they're businesses and they need to do business. And if they don't do good business, whose fault is that? Where's the software, Joey? Did I lose it?
You closed it.
Did I really? When did I close it?
That's that one.
Oh, is that the whining you were telling me about? Oh.
What is it? 2:24. So we got about 6 minutes before he comes on. Let's see what the markets are doing.
Oh, sugarfoot. I almost cussed.
Well, don't cuss. Well, the markets are still up. They gave up a little bit of that excitement we saw at 2 o'clock, but not too much.
Inflation is transitory. You know something? I think that the Fed will never live that down. All right? The Fed will never leave that down. And then Janet Yellen said that it was something else. Didn't she say something? She called it something else. Viewers, what? I forgot what it wasn't transitory. She called it something else. Why are you? Stop moving my mouse. I'll punch you in the face, Joey. Did I just threaten you on live stream? Okay.
Yes, you're threatening Joey on live stream.
Life is transitory. Wednesday, let's go to Glenn's picks. Let's go look at my picks real quick. All right, we got about 5 minutes. Here's my vehicle companies: Stellantis, Ford, and GM. Dell is in my list. I'm bearish on Bitcoin. I'm bullish on, there was a Callaway story. You did miss one, Joey. It's okay. Callaway might be getting bought. Callaway might be getting,
Topgolf?
huh?
Topgolf
Yep.
Callaway?
Yep, they might be getting bought. So there's some news and it started moving up bigly today. So I'm bearish on Bitcoin, and I think that's it. That's it. So those are my stock picks for this week. Let's go see what my stock picks look like last week. I was bearish on 3 stocks: Lennar, Tesla, and Boeing. Let's go look at the ones that I was bullish on. Oh, let's go back. Side, this is not moving fast enough. The 13th, I was bullish, and bullish. Let's quick test those. Did I make money? Quick test.
He's gonna learn.
I got my butt kicked. Sentinel-1 got blown out of the water. Goodness gracious. Only the Airbus went up. All right. Let's quick test them all. Still, the ones that was bearish on Sentinel-1, Tesla went up and Boeing went up. Interesting. My picks sucked last week. All right.
My picks
Let's go to
sucked
Ryan's
last
picks
week.
for today. You want to say anything about these real quick?
Yeah, let's see here. Yeah, I got oil in here going long. It's mixed today. Got Intel, that's down. And then Tilray brands. Yeah, I'm long on all these.
Okay.
That looks good.
Let's go look at last week. You were short on Tesla. Let's go back first to the 13th. I think Ryan kicked my butt last week.
I don't know.
I think you did. Quick test. Oh, no, you weren't. You were down too, but not nearly as much down as I was. Oh, look at that. All of them went down. Man, your picks sucked last week. Let's go look at all of them to include Tesla. Tesla was the only one that went up.
The one short I had went up.
I'm still in TSLQ, though. I still own TSLQ. I'm up double digits on it. And it still hasn't hit my stop, so I'm fine. I'm going to give you a couple of fish real quick. We got 3 minutes. Big movers. These are stocks that are moving on insanely really good volume. I scroll over these stocks, look at the percentage volume. These are up on big volume. All right. Anybody been tracking these that I've been giving you as big movers and made some money? Yes or no? Anybody been playing any of these stocks that have been my big movers that we've put and you've made some money? Yes or no?
Dude, Simtrex is up quite a bit today, I see.
What's that?
Simtrex is up quite a bit.
Let's go see. I don't want to look at the news. We only got about 2 minutes. But keep your eyes on these stocks. Please do. Not only are these up today, but they're up on big volume. One more set of fish to give you. Top VST stocks with a 3-8 cross over the last 3 days. All right. Builder, EDU, FBL, MYRG, and FangU. Interesting. All right. So top VST stocks, you can see these are all good top VST stocks. The 3-8s have crossed within the last 3 days, the 3 and 8 exponentials. All right. Again, these are stocks that I want you guys to keep in these are 2 sets of stocks on Wednesdays that could be good big movers for you. All right. So 2 sets of fish for you as we get ready to go into the Fed talk. So I'm going to give this over to Joey. Glenn, you were in vacation kind of. I just had a short little vacation go on. Do you know what you're doing?
You know what you're doing?
He doesn't know what the hell he's doing. I'm so mad at you. All right. So now go to the Fed thing. You know what you're doing now? Oh, you hid it from me. Oh.
Smart guy. Smart man, Joey.
That's not that smart.
You can't close it. Like you did the program.
Why? I didn't close the program.
Okay.
That wasn't me.
Okay.
Whatever.
Okay.
Palantir is a good long-term play. Remore, I own Palantir. I still own Palantir. Jim says, I actually made a live event. Welcome, Jim. Glad you're here, my friend. Glad you are here. All right. Well, you could just bring it over here and Joe, me and Patrick. Me and
They probably don't give you anything.
You just call me Patrick?
no. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, I am so sorry. That was not on purpose. Oh, we need to have the program up so I can look at the market timing graph, right?
Just relax. All right?
Wow, now you're telling me relax. I am sorry, Ryan.
That really hurt my feelings.
I'm sorry.
Well,
And you know I love you like a brother, right? All right.
Fernandez says, "Oh, poor Patrick."
Oh gosh. All right. There we go. About half and half. That looks good. Okay. And then I'm going to give more space over here. All right. So we're ready.
Looks
Glenn
good.
is back from the holidays and is already stressing out. I'm not stressing out.
Don't stress out, Glenn. Yeah, I know your blood sugar can't handle it.
Wow. I'm eating all this candy that you brought
I know
in.
you. I walked over there. You had like a box of sugar.
Why
literally.
don't you tell everybody my business, Ryan? Why don't you just tell VV Nation all my business?
Hey, we're just here to look out for you, buddy. I don't
Oh,
want anything
my
happen
God.
to you.
Are you SpongeBob, Glenn? How has that become? Hi, Nat, by the way.
Oh, because of Patrick? Patrick and SpongeBob?
All right, there it is. It's going on. People are moving. You see people's heads moving? All right, we're getting ready to go listen. What's up, YOLO?
Let's make some money.
Look at all those flags. So
Market's
nicely
pulling
placed.
back quite a bit.
I'm
this
watching
minute.
it. Look under Glenn's hat for more candy, says Kirby. Kirby, it's a good thing I like you.
I bet that's where he does keep all the candy. Now I know.
All right, the market's pulling back a little bit like Ryan. All right, there he is. Can they hear it?
I can hear it. So I should be able to.
Can y'all hear it?
How many times do you think he says data dependent?
6.
I'm going 4. 4 times.
I'm going 4 times. The economy has made considerable progress toward our dual mandate objectives. Inflation has eased substantially, while the labor market has remained strong. And that is very good
They
news.
can't hear it.
But inflation is still too high. Ongoing progress in bringing it down is not assured, and the path forward is uncertain.
We can't hear it.
They can hear it
We are
now.
fully committed to returning inflation to our 2%
Okay.
goal. Restoring price stability is essential to achieve a sustainably strong labor market that benefits all. Today, the FOMC decided to leave our policy interest rate unchanged and to continue to reduce our securities holdings. Our restrictive stance of monetary policy has been putting downward pressure on economic activity and inflation. As labor market tightness has eased and progress on inflation has continued, the risks to achieving our employment and inflation goals are moving into better balance.
Uh-oh.
I will have more to say about monetary policy after briefly reviewing economic developments. Recent indicators suggest that economic activity has been expanding at a solid pace. GDP growth in the fourth quarter of last year came in at 3.2%. For 2023 as a whole, GDP expanded 3.1%, bolstered by strong consumer demand as well as improving supply conditions. Activity in the housing sector was subdued over the past year, largely reflecting high mortgage rates. High interest rates also appear to have weighed on business fixed investment. In our summary of economic projections, committee participants generally expect GDP growth to slow from last year's pace, with a median projection of 2.1% this year and 2% over the next 2 years. Participants generally revised up their growth projections since December, reflecting the strength of incoming data, including data on labor supply.
Watch the market.
And it's not
The
like
labor market remains relatively tight, but supply and demand conditions continue to come into better balance. Over the past 3 months, payroll job gains averaged 265,000 jobs per month. The unemployment rate has edged up but remains low at 3.9%.
3.9, right? Yep.
Strong job creation has been accompanied by an increase in the supply of workers, reflecting increases in participation among individuals aged 25 to 54 years, and a continued strong pace of immigration.
Oh, you talk about
Nominal wage
immigration.
growth has been easing, and job vacancies have declined. Although the jobs to workers gap has narrowed, labor demand still exceeds the supply of available workers.
True.
FOMC participants expect the rebalancing in the labor market to continue, easing upward pressure on inflation. The median unemployment rate projection in the SEP is 4.0% at the end of this year and 4.1% at the end of next year. Inflation has eased notably over the past year, but remains above our longer-run goal of 2%. Estimates based on the Consumer Price Index and other data indicate that total PCE prices
I wonder if I can call
rose
that data
2.5% over the 12 months ending in February, and that excluding the volatile food and energy categories, core PCE prices rose 2.8%. Longer-term inflation expectations appear to remain well anchored, as reflected in a broad range of surveys of households, businesses, and forecasters, as well as from measures from financial markets. The median projection in the SEP for total PCE inflation falls to 2.4% this year, 2.2% next year, and 2% in 2026.
What? 2026 to get to 2?
The Fed's monetary policy
Dang.
actions are guided by our mandate to promote maximum employment and stable prices for the American people. My colleagues and I are acutely aware that high inflation imposes significant hardship as it erodes purchasing power, especially for those least able to meet the higher costs of essentials like food, housing, and transportation. We are strongly committed to returning inflation to our 2% objective.
By 2026.
The committee decided at today's meeting to maintain the target range for the federal funds rate at 5.25% to 5.5%, and to continue the process of significantly reducing our securities holdings. As labor market tightness has eased and progress on inflation has continued, the risks to achieving our employment and inflation goals are coming into better balance. We believe that our policy rate is likely at its peak for this tightening cycle, and that, if the economy evolves broadly as expected, it will likely be appropriate to begin dialing back policy restraint at some point this year. The
That's
economic
still
outlook is
ambiguous.
uncertain, however,
That's
and we remain
good.
highly attentive
That's
to inflation
dovish.
risks. We are
Anyway.
prepared to maintain the current target range for the federal funds rate for longer, if appropriate.
Rates higher for longer.
We know that reducing policy restraint too soon or too much could result in a reversal of the progress we have seen on inflation and ultimately require even tighter policy to get inflation back to 2%. At the same time, reducing policy restraint too late or too little could unduly weaken economic activity and employment. In considering any adjustments to the target range for the federal funds rate, the committee will carefully assess incoming data, the evolving outlook, and the
Data.
balance
I'm
of
writing that
risks.
down. Data.
The committee does not expect
I think the
it will be
market's gonna like
appropriate
what
to
they hear
reduce the
here.
Right
target
now they
range
are.
until it has gained greater confidence that inflation is moving sustainably down toward 2%. Of course, we're committed to both sides of our dual mandate, and an unexpected weakening in the labor market could also warrant a policy response. We will continue to make our decisions meeting by meeting. In our SEP, FOMC participants wrote down their individual assessments of an appropriate path for the federal funds rate based on what each participant judges to be the most likely scenario going forward. If the economy evolves as projected, the median participant projects that the appropriate level of the federal funds rate will be 4.6% at the end of this year, 3.9% at the end of 2025, and 3.1% at the end of 2026.
How
Still
many
above
cuts?
the median
One cut?
longer-term funds rate. These projections are not a committee decision or plan. If the economy does not evolve as projected, the path for policy will adjust as appropriate to foster our maximum employment and price stability goals. Turning to our balance sheet, our securities holdings have declined by nearly $1.5 trillion since the committee began reducing our portfolio.
I don't think that's true.
At this meeting, we
I
discussed
don't think that's
issues
true.
related to slowing the pace of decline in our securities holdings. While we did not make any decisions today on this, the general sense of the committee is that it will be appropriate to slow the pace of runoff fairly soon, consistent with the plans we previously issued. The decision to slow the pace of runoff does not mean that our balance sheet will ultimately shrink by less than it would otherwise, but rather allows us to approach that ultimate level more gradually. In particular, slowing the pace of runoff will help ensure a smooth transition reducing the possibility that money markets experience stress and thereby facilitating the ongoing decline in our securities holdings consistent with reaching the appropriate level of ample reserves. We remain committed to bringing inflation back down to our 2% goal and to keeping our longer-term inflation expectations well anchored. Restoring price stability is essential
third time
to set
he
the
said
stage
well
for achieving
anchored.
maximum employment
Yeah,
and
that's
price
his new-
stability over the long term.
It's a new thing. He likes
To
that.
conclude, we understand that our actions affect communities, families, and businesses across the country. Everything we do is in service to our public mission. We at the Fed will do everything we can to achieve our maximum employment and price stability goals. Thank you.
All right, that was the Fed. So, hawkish or dovish? Type
Steve
it in the
Leisman,
room.
CNBC. Mr. Chairman,
I know they're going to ask
the,
questions, but real quick, hawkish?
projections show
No, just leave that.
somewhat higher.
Hawkish or dovish? Yes or no?
I'm going to go more dovish.
I'm going to go more dovish as well.
Rates were kept the same this year, but inflation is higher and growth is higher. Does it mean more tolerance for higher inflation and less of a willingness to slow the economy to achieve that target?
Well, it doesn't. No, it doesn't mean that. What it means is that we've seen incoming as I pointed out in my opening remarks, we did mark up our growth forecast, and so have many other forecasters. So the economy is performing well, and the inflation data came in a little bit higher as a separate matter, and I think that caused people to write up their inflation. But nonetheless, we continue to make good progress on bringing inflation down, and so.
When you just to follow up, when you say that you're willing to either maintain the rate for longer, what is the tolerance of the Federal Reserve for inflation coming in above its 2% target?
Oh, I like that question.
We're strongly committed to bringing inflation
Well
down
worded.
to 2% over time. That is our goal, and we will achieve that goal. Markets believe we will achieve that goal, and they should believe that because that's what will happen over time.
But he said by
But we stress over time.
2026.
And so
That's
I
a
think
long
we're
time
making
out. Yeah,
projections
I'm not gonna lie.
that do show that happening, and we're committed to that outcome, and we will bring it about.
That was a good question.
Hi, Chair Powell.
He
Rachel
said he would
Siegel from the
ease
Washington
quite
Post. Thanks for
gradually at
taking our
less pace than
questions.
normal.
You and others have been saying that relief on housing inflation is coming, but it still hasn't shown up meaningfully in the CPI or the PCE. Does that challenge your assumption about when the shift will finally break through, since it hasn't at that point?
So I think there's some confidence that the market rents, lower market rent increases that we're seeing will show up in measures of housing services inflation over time. There's a little bit of uncertainty about when that will happen, but there's real confidence that they will show up eventually over time. But again,
Show up
uncertainty about the exact
eventually.
timing of that.
And will you be able to get overall inflation down to target if housing doesn't break through quickly, and does that affect the timing for eventual cuts this year?
We will get aggregate inflation down to 2% over time. We will. and I would assume that what we'll continue to see is we'll see goods prices coming into a new equilibrium where
Over
they're
time.
going down perhaps not as
2026.
quickly as they had been earlier this year, where housing services inflation will come back down as current market rents are suggesting will happen, and where non-housing services will move back down. Some combination of those three things, and it may be different from the combination we had before the pandemic, will
Absolutely,
be achieved and will bring
Christopher.
inflation back down to 2% sustainably.
All right. We got about 15 minutes or so. Do you want to finish listening to the Fed, or do you want to take a look at
Jim Russell, Wall
stocks?
Street Journal. Chair
Type
Powell,
either
during your
Fed
congressional
or
testimony this month,
stocks
you
in the
said that your
chat.
test for
Fed
making
I
the
say
or
first
my
stocks?
vote is
interest
stocks.
rates
What do you
does not
think,
require
Glenn?
you to
I'm
be
thinking
terribly
stocks.
comfortable that inflation is at 2% because interest rates are
It's
well
about what
above
I
neutral.
expected.
But
At the same time, you
these
said here
questions
after
are
the
pretty
last
good.
meeting that the first cut
Yeah.
is highly consequential.
Fed
Can you
stocks.
reconcile these views for me? If rates are well above neutral, why would the
It
first
looks like
cut
stocks.
be highly consequential?
It's pretty mixed,
Is that
but
because
mostly
you
stocks.
anticipate one
I should have
cut
made Joey do
would
a
be followed by one or two
survey.
more along the lines of the recalibration you made in 2019, which itself was modeled on the mid-cycle adjustment of 1995.
Oh yeah, big drop.
It's
The last
more-
two
I
candles.
would put
Did
it
you see
more in the
that?
context of what I said in my
Market's still
opening remarks,
volatile.
that the risks are really two-sided here. We're in a situation where, if we ease too much or too soon, we could see inflation come back. And if we use
All right,
too
we're going to
late,
do
we
a
could
couple of minutes
unnecessary
more of
harm
the Fed,
to
and then we're going to look at
employment.
stocks. How about that,
And
Brian?
people,
Just a couple
That's a
of
good
minutes.
balance.
Okay.
So, we do see the risks as two-sided. So it is consequential. We want to be careful. And fortunately, with the economy growing, with the labor market strong, and with inflation coming down, we can approach that question carefully and let the data speak on that.
The Q's just
that's really
hit a new intraday high.
How much of that inflation that we've seen so far this year do you chalk up to one-off calendar adjustment effects following a period of high inflation versus some change in the trend we saw
Look at that.
in the second half of last year?
So I want to start by saying I always try to be careful about dismissing data that we don't like. So you need to check yourself on that, and I'll do that. But so I would say the January
said
number,
you
which
need
was
to
very
check
high,
yourself.
the January CPI and PCE numbers were quite high. There's reason to think that there could be seasonal effects there. But nonetheless, we don't want to be completely dismissive of it. The February number was higher than expectations, but we have it at currently well below 30 basis points core PCE, which is not terribly high. So it's not like the January number. But I take the two of them together, and I think they haven't really changed the overall
That's still
story,
a big drop,
which
Brian.
is that of inflation moving down
130 to
gradually on a
1.19.
sometimes bumpy road toward 2%.
Oh, for the
I don't think that
MTI,
story
yeah.
has changed. I also don't think that those readings.
I wonder if the
added to
confirmed
anyone's
call can
confidence
flash back
that
up
we're
here
moving
soon.
closer to that point.
don't-
But
We got the
we didn't-
BSR.
The last thing I'll say is we didn't excessively celebrate the good inflation readings we got in the last 7 months of last year. We didn't
We're not
take
higher.
too much signal out of that. What you heard us saying
65.86.
was that we needed to see more, that we could, we wanted to be careful about that decision. And we're not going to overreact as well to these 2 months of data, nor are we going to ignore them.
No, you want to move the little white dot.
Shut up.
I knew what you were
Hi,
trying to
Mr. Powell.
do.
Could you
Oh, we
speak a
could.
little bit more
Actually,
about
we
the
are higher than we
timing?
were
Is
1
there,
week ago.
Enough data between now and say
Oh.
May to
We
be
could
able
get
So,
a-
where's the Biden?
Oh,
So
it just flashed up.
yeah, I'm getting ready to say we are higher than
No,
we were.
go to the
or by
homepage. Go to the
June.
homepage.
Is there an
Look at
Back
that.
to confirmed up,
I
baby.
Give us a
just I
sense
just
of your
counted that.
thinking.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, so we make
Hey, that's
decisions
crazy
meeting by
because
meeting, and
tonight's 6
we didn't
p.m.
make any
video
decisions or
literally
about
was on
future
5
meetings
good
today.
stocks
Those
to
are gonna
buy on this
depend our
market dip
ongoing
because I had a
assessment
feeling
of
this
the incoming data.
The
rally
confirmed
would
down
continue.
wasn't. Yeah, look
So
at this. Holy
wasn't
shit.
very
Not everything
strong.
for you on any specific meeting.
Yeah, if you're going to want to watch the video tonight, great stocks on the list. Micron is on the list too, so I'm going to give some good insight on there. I know they got earnings tonight.
We'll take,
Sorry.
All right,
things
I'm
can
going
happen
to
during
keep
an intermeeting
him up.
period, if you look back, unexpected.
but I'm going to mute him. Let's go. How many likes do we have, Joey?
We've got. I only see 9.
Well, we get 7. We get 8 stocks.
8 stocks.
All right, so you can still see what he's saying. We got 8 stocks. That's it. I'm going to stay. I'm going to keep this up. We got 8 stocks. All right, Rig. 1, 2, 3.
Ryan said not to go all in on for shorts when we get the confirmed down.
6. Holy
Yeah,
shit.
Fernando, I just said I wasn't, I
7.
wasn't willing to bet against this market too much. We got the primary wave down, we got the confirmed call down. If you started tiptoeing into some contras or doing some covered call, something to ensure your portfolio, hey, not a bad idea, right? You never know how long or how deep some of these pullbacks will be. But I had a feeling it was going to be a pretty weak pullback.
And that
That's
was
why I
because
said that on Monday.
the DEW never changed.
Yeah, the DEW never changed. So yeah, tonight's video, you're going to get good 5 great fish. Pretty much saying, these stocks are meant for this rally.
All right. I remembered what you said, bro, says Fernando. What is Fernando talking about?
He's talking about his comment before. On Monday, I did a Contra ETF video.
Okay.
And I just said, pretty much tiptoe into these positions, start small, just because we don't have the DEW down. And essentially, with the primary wave down, the confirmed down call, just tiptoe into those positions.
All right. I'm finna put a stop to all of this. But I just went 100% contras. So Ryan said in the video to tiptoe. 1, 2, The confirmed call happened to the downside prior to the DEW, which is abnormal, which is really abnormal. All right. So listen, for everybody who's getting ready to start to back either one of us into a corner, that stops right here, right now. We will always err to the side of caution, no matter what. And a lot of people get on us for that too as well. Say, well, you don't commit either way, one way or the other. It's because the market's fickle. The market does what it wants to do. And what do we say? Take what the market gives you.
It's not smart to be all in one way or the other.
Absolutely. And I've been saying for the longest time, you should only be trading half positions. But all you greedy folks out there, and you know who you are, sit there and be like, well, that's on you. I've been saying that we should have only been in half positions for a minute. For a minute. All right, so.
And I did say on the Contra ETF video on Monday, I said, the big thing that's going to move the market is today, the interest rate decision.
That's right.
Wait for the dust to settle. I think that's what I said. Isn't that what I said, Fernando?
Well,
I said I'm waiting.
Kevin says that. Kevin says, yeah, Ryan totally said to wait even until today after the announcement. So everybody out there who's getting ready to go spout off some other stuff, slow your roll. Because I think we try very hard. We try very hard to make sure we cover our bases, but also make sure that you cover your bases. Okay, so anything else I see about that is going to get ignored because I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. We try very hard to keep you guys in the right space, and we are a little bit more prudent. We got a confirmed call up now. Yes, we did. And a lot of that, I think, stemmed from the fact that we got a confirmed down call prior to the DEW going down, which is really, really, really abnormal. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That's abnormal. So it comes, and now, what did Ryan say? Wait for today. We wait for today, and now we look. It is Abby normal, Gemini. What brain did you get? Abby something? Abby normal? All right.
Abby normal.
So I love that. Is that Young Frank? So I gotta go Netflix it. I want to go see it. I gotta go see that. All right. So I wanted to put that out there because I know that there's people out there waiting for us to mess up and they can jump all over it. Guess what? We're gonna mess up. That's the reality of investing in the market. But you know something? I'd rather you mess up small than to mess up in a huge way and lose all your money. There's a different way to go. All right. Ron says, ultimately, one can do whatever they want to do. Should be thinking for yourself. Doug says, everyone needs to do their own due diligence. All right. So
exactly.
All right. With that being said, this is Wednesday, hot or not. So let's talk about it. Hot or not?
I like it. I'm hot.
It's
petroleum, the MACD. We got trigger. Oh, look at trend. We got a fresh trend trigger as of what, yesterday?
Yeah, it's got a lot of levels of resistance to get through. It is undervalued too. You know something? I'm with you. What do you think? Hot or not? Michael says hot. Ryan says hot. I think I say hot too. Let's
VP
go
says
find
hot.
my portfolio. Where's AMA? Let me see what y'all's portfolio. Look at that.
3.2%. And we still got 22,000 in cash.
You
So we're not
guys
even
are killing it.
we're only trading about half the portfolio right now.
Look at you guys. I'm so proud of you. All right, whatever. Let's go put here's the portfolio. Here's the graph. Can I do it this way?
No.
Rig. Oh, how do I want to do? Oh, I got to go to portfolios. I got to add a trade. There it is, rig. All right. Man, how long have I been doing this?
I don't know. I mean, did you just start today?
I must have. Target
Hey,
investment.
welcome to the team, Glenn. It's good to have you here.
Shut up, Ryan. How about that? How about shut your mouth? MOUF. Shut your mouth. All right. Next one. Hot or not? I'm not hot.
I'm not hot on it yet.
It's trending down from the high. We're
at a level of resistance.
Yeah, we're at a level of resistance and in a downtrend. I'm saying no.
Nope. MACD, nothing.
What did Fitz says? Rig been a dog for a long time. It's starting to move now, my friend. Senior strategist Glenn Tompkins. What are you saying, Kevin? No. We're getting those. All right, let's go to the next one.
Micron.
Now, Micron, I think, is going to have a good opportunity to move. I am. If I'm looking at it right now, though, I'm waiting. Agree or disagree?
I mean, with the tight trading range over the last, 2 weeks here?
Yep.
I mean, other than that little poke out last week to create the high, I mean, it's pretty tight. Earnings is going to really cover it. So Micron is in the video tonight.
Okay.
The one thing I really like about Micron, because I did watch the NVIDIA thing. I know you did as well, Glenn.
Uh-huh.
So ASML, those lithography machines, they're between $200 and $500 million each.
Oh, and by the way, that's what my kid runs in ASML, one of those machines.
Oh, the EUV machine?
He's some kind of thing.
Lithography?
Yeah. He's listed as an engineer, even though he's not an engineer, but he keeps telling me that he's an engineer.
ASML, the new machines that they're coming out with to, take the chips to the next level, they're only selling them to Taiwan Semi, Samsung, Intel, and Micron are the 4 companies I found on the list to receive those machines. So I think if they're on that list to get those machines, I think Micron's got big plans for the future. And I like them.
The thing is, a couple of things. I'm looking at it's way overvalued.
It's
way overvalued. Relative value, relative safety is not on here, all right, because it's the MPI graph.
But if you look at most AI companies right now,
they are overvalued.
They're all way overvalued. Most of them are.
All right, so I'm going to say that it could be earnings that pushes it out of this range, but right now, if I'm looking at it, indecision today, I'm
not going
calling
to buy it today.
Not today.
I'm not.
I'm calling it not today. What say you? Jeff says not. I think earnings can make a difference, though. But
I don't want to buy a stock on the day of earnings either.
Okay. Getting echo from Ryan. I turned him down. He should be fine. It's something that Joey did. And what did you do?
He messed me all up.
Whatever. What? So we're not going to get into MU. All right, let's go to the next one. Oof.
Oh no.
Oh, that's the H to the no. That's just no. Now it did great, and beautiful. Trend is still there though. So long term, if you're willing to give up a little bit for trend is still there. But right now, I got no trigger. No. Jerry says he gave the vomit face. Gosh, it's not that bad, JD.
It's not that good either.
All requires massive amount of money to run one. For which one you talking about, Michael? Glenn, you won't like me when I'm angry. I'm never angry. All right, let's go to the next one. NVDL. Man, I've been loving this. Is a great way to play NVIDIA without having to play NVIDIA big money. Right now,
I'm going to say not right now.
I'm saying it's sitting in a channel, bouncing off support. I'm going to say not really. Oh, there's the split. Hey now. It was the split 6-1. Made it even cheaper. Whew. And this is a great way to play NVIDIA without having to buy the big money. But I'm going to say no right now. I'm going to say no right now.
Yeah, that tight channel. We lost trigger.
Yeah. And MACD is slowing down even though it's still positive. I'd wait for it to break out of the channel. All right? I'd wait for it to break out of the channel. JD says it's bullish. Let it show me something, JD. Let it show me something. Amir says he has no internet now. Well, how are you talking to me if you got no internet?
Put in a comment if you ain't got no internet, Amir.
I need to go on vacation. Amir is making me go on vacation. Santalal says buy more. What happens if it goes down, Santalal? I'd rather let the shock show me to get into, give me something to get into it for.
Yeah.
Ooh, Modine. I like it. New 3-month high. Oh, about to get triggered. I got trend. Ooh, and MACD just went positive, baby.
Let's go ahead and throw it in. It's hot.
Let's go buy it. Modine. Let's go see if we have it, though. Oh, we already got it.
Yep, that makes sense.
We already got
4% too.
And
4.6%.
Wow, we're up 26% on it. Look at that.
Nice.
We're already up in it. Hey now, you're an all-star. All right, anyway. Stop bumping your head. You can't do that. Your neck's hurt. You all broke up.
That's why I'm a little stiff.
Mara,
That's about all you getting from me
I'm not
today.
feeling crypto right now. It got hit. A nice update, a nice revival.
You ain't never feeling crypto. Any day crypto is down, Glenn is crypto's hit.
Yep. That's me in a nutshell. Yep.
That's me in a nutshell.
Big update. It still has trend. I got no trigger. MACD might be getting less negative, but MACD is still negative. MACD, I'm going to say no. One day doesn't
say
make
no
a trend.
today.
All right. One day doesn't make a trend.
Crypto is a casino.
CMG split already, I think. It's either that or it's splitting in April, one of the two. Mara, no. All right, that's good. Last stock. Wow.
CMG.
Oh, there it is. There's CMG. It's split.
Chipotle. This is
Look,
what, the 50-1 split?
You know why? The company makes freaking burritos and the stock is almost $3,000.
Yeah, I don't get why
They
the
make
company is so
burritos.
expensive.
They make burritos.
They don't want the retailers.
All right, I'm going to add a parameter for you. Price actual. Now we can see the split. Oh, we can't. It
Not
hasn't
yet.
split yet. Oh, that's it. Yeah, it hasn't split yet.
It'll probably reflect tomorrow. I
Yeah,
imagine.
it hasn't split yet. It's too happy. Yeah, I'm about to say I got splits on. It hasn't split yet. It's gonna bring the stock price down. I don't know to how much, but a lot less than almost $3,000.
Whew.
How to not? I don't like the wick.
I don't like the wick. I'm going to say not.
I'm gonna say not only because this is in anticipation of the split. I'm gonna say not. Sound. You want to know about sound?
Hey, go back to the homepage real quick.
All right. Hold on. Let me
Look at that.
talk to you about sound. We own it in this
Oh, yeah.
portfolio, and it's down 5%, and it's down today.
Another 5%.
Oh, we
today.
must have been flat on it. We must
Yeah.
have been flat on it because the percentage down. Yeah, we must have been flat. We already own it.
Mm.
I'm gonna go. You said you go to the web. Go to the homepage.
Hey, go to the homepage because look what we got here. We got green lights appearing
Oh boy.
in the price column and the BSR column. We got green lights today.
And we got it confirmed up,
Yep.
but nothing is up in excess of 1%. The Nasdaq is the leader, up 9/10. The composites up 8/10.
Decent growth.
Let's go back to the graphs. Look at the market timing graph. Big. Now we're at a nice update, trading right at the session highs. Let's go put this on the intraday 1 minute bar.
I think this
day.
momentum to the upside will finish out the day.
There it is. This is after the Fed. There's 2:00.
I was thinking I got a dovish tone from.
I feel the
Wow.
same way. I got a dovish tone on them. Oh, the split is in June. Thank you, Janice. The split is in June. All right. A couple of people asked me about SMCI. SMCI, this will be the last stock. 3 months.
It looks like it's trying to stabilize after that. Was it a share buyback program that was announced?
Yeah.
Is that what it was yesterday?
Yeah.
I did a short on it. It's like they're selling, I think, like 2 million shares.
All right. Here's a gap.
Oh, yeah.
Right at 865.76. Let's see if that holds. There's the latest. No, actually, here's another gap. It gapped down, gapped up.
It's
It
gappy.
never really faded the gap
Very
to the
gappy.
downside. Gapped up, faded.
Yeah,
the
the secondary stock offering. That's what it was. Yep.
All right. We just lost trigger. I am going to
MACD is
say
about to cross below too right now.
if you go below 865.76, the stock's going to have more downside. All right. Claire, I would love to, but we're sitting right at 303. We're sitting right at 303. All right. So I did give one extra stock, but listen, it came from the likes. I gave you a couple extra stocks. It's all about the likes. It's all about the
You gotta
likes.
like the content.
Yep.
Think about it. There's 273 people watching. So if you each liked it, it'd be 27 stocks.
Absolutely.
We'd be talking all afternoon. You'd have to hear Glenn's voice. I'm glad you didn't hit the like button, actually.
I'm sort of kind of glad too. All right, we gotta go. This time we gotta go because Joey because Joey said, we gotta go. Oh, we're gonna look at it. Oh, we gotta go. We're done.
You got a hot date for Golden Corral tonight?
Yeah, because
Glenn?
my wife's out of town. All right. Go ahead. You sign us off there. You. What's your
Ryan?
name?
Patrick.
Patrick. He said it. You sign us off, Ryan.
All right, VV Nation, you heard it here. Try to keep you updated. Try to keep you on the right side of the market.
And
we saw
stop
some
trying to pinhole us into something because something else. Just don't do that. We go way above and beyond for you guys.
Yes. You tell them, Glenn. You tell them. No, but really, with the confirmed up call right now, just let the dust settle. Make any decision. I'd wait till tomorrow. Micron, that's reporting after the bell today, so we'll see if that gives the semis a little bit more momentum to the upside. But other than that, you guys be safe. Have a great rest of your day, and as always, try to make some money.
See ya.
Bye, Glenn.